Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. In this video tutorial, I'm going to use the same code which I've written in the last tutorial for delay generation with the help of functions and nested loops. But I'm going to calculate this time with the help of a tool available in the MPLab that is called stopwatch. I'm going to use this basically tool. I'm going to calculate the exact amount of delay that is being produced in this nested loop or delay function, right? So before we proceed this thing, I want to just highlight or recall some of the knowledge that we have already learned in PIC18F programming when we were doing assembly language tutorials. So we know that every PIC18F microcontroller or every microcontroller is attached with a crystal oscillator that is of certain frequency. So let's say if crystal oscillator is 40 megahertz, then how one can do the translation of this crystal oscillator into the frequency instruction that will be basically 1/4 of it. So 40 megahertz divided by 4, it becomes 10 megahertz, and 10 megahertz is what? Instruction frequency. So if you want to calculate the time of one instruction, you have to just calculate the reciprocal of it, right? So that means 10 megahertz reciprocal means 1 divided by 10 into 10 power 6, which means the time of instruction is equal to 0.1 microsecond, right? So this is going to be the, you can say, time of one instruction if crystal oscillator is attached is 40 megahertz. Similarly, I have actually calculated for you if crystal oscillator is reduced to 20 megahertz, then of course it will have a reverse effect on time of instruction. It will increase by that same amount, right? So since crystal oscillator is half, so it will be double. Time of instruction is, you can see that it is double 0.2 microsecond, right? So in this video tutorial, I'm going to consider this crystal oscillator is 10 megahertz, and how you can do it, I will just explain you in MPLab, and time of instruction would become 0.4 microsecond, right? Okay, before we proceed, let me show you how one can actually set this timer or crystal oscillator value. So if you go in if you go in debugger, you see that debugger in menu bar, and there is in last settings, right? If you go there, you can actually change the crystal oscillator value. You can use 4, you can use 40, or any value between 4 to 40 megahertz, because these are useful for PIC18F microcontroller. So I'm going to set it to 10 megahertz, right? There are units, you can change it, you can change in hertz, you can make it in kilohertz, you can even test it in megahertz, right? So I'm going to make it 10 megahertz and press OK. So now whatever the instructions or time will be calculated, it will be calculated against 10 megahertz crystal oscillator, right? This is one thing. And now let's come back to the code which I have already written. If you remember, I've already written the code in the previous tutorial. This is the same code. If you remember, in this video tutorial, we are just using the same code. So this is the code, and if you remember, this is the delay profile, right? uh, I have just made one single change, which is, if you remember earlier, when I was using in that tutorial, I was using delay of 1000, because we assume that delay will produce 1 millisecond delay, but we wanted to have a 1 second delay because we wanted to test it on Proteus. So we used here delay of 1000. That means 1000 millisecond delay, which is equal to 1 second delay, was being observed in Proteus. But here we are about to calculate the exact amount. So I'm going to run it for only for just one value, that is for one delay of 1, and then this will go into its respective definition and will run against equivalent instruction cycles, and we will count those instruction cycle using the stopwatch, right? This is the stopwatch thing, and how you can actually visualize it again, let me show you. If you go in debugger, in menu bar, there are various options. In debugger, you can see, you can enable a stopwatch. So there is a stopwatch, and you can see that it shows you in stop instruction cycles which are being counted. Currently it is 0, and time of instructions or total instruction cycle was shown in microsecond here, right? And crystal oscillator, as in megahertz, it is basically 10 as I have already selected it earlier, right? So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to run it. First of all, make sure this program is working. Yeah, program is working. Okay, just close this output window. And then I'm going to use this debugger values, right? I will run it step by step. You know that whenever you're going to compile this code, this code is right now in C language, but when compiler will perform compiling, it will translate into equivalent assembly language programming. So it will be converted into assembly language. So let's see how it will look like. If I click on step into, which will go to run this code line by line, which means line by line of assembly code, right? So if I'm going to press it, you see, now you see that this assembling listing. So this is equivalent code in assembly language written against the C code. I'm not going to explain it because I've already done the assembly language programming tutorials, but I'm gonna run these codes line by line. And how you can do that? You can do it using this step into command, right? In debug, right? This is debug, and here if you see it, you can read this is basically what step into, right? So step into, I'm gonna press it. Since I pressed it one time, you see that instruction cycles are being executed. The instruction, every line instruct is executed, and against those lines, the equivalent number of cycles are increased in stopwatch. If you are unable to see it, you can see it here. Let me highlight this area for you. Okay, this is the area that you should notice. See, number of instruction cycles and their equivalent amount of time, right? So let's again run few more cycles. Okay, you see that number of cycles are increasing as I'm executing the code line by line, and you see there is also time, right? Equivalent time, right? So I'm not interested in complete execution time, rather I'm interested only in this specific delay profile. So when our cursor will reach to this delay, we will stop and we will make this time equal to 0 and then start counting the instruction. And the amount of time for which the cursor will remain in this delay profile, it will be the amount, it will be the time duration for which this delay will be producing, right? So let's run this code line by line. See, I'm executing it. Still, I don't see any cursor because it is still in the preambling or preamble code of the assembly language. Remember, this C code will be compiled in detailed version of assembly language. So we are still somewhere in that assembly language code. And as we see a cursor in the main code, we will stop and we will be careful. Okay, okay, you see 38 cycles are already executed and now it is in the code. You see, this is the arrow I was talking about, the cursor. Now we will be careful because as this cursor will approach to this delay, we will be careful and zero the number of cycles, right? So let's see. Okay, it is on LED now and we will press one more time. Okay, so 40 cycles have been already executed and 40 cycles have consumed 16 microseconds, right? With the help of calculation, we can actually confirm it. 10 megahertz crystal oscillator we are using and 0.4 microsecond for one instruction cycle. So 0.4 will be multiplied with figure of 40. It will actually produce 16 microseconds, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it 0 because I am interested now the actual amount which will be used in delay. So I will make it 0. See, everything is 0 now. And now I'm going to run it. Okay, you see the code has actually moved, cursor has moved from delay line to the body of the loop, and now it will remain. And I want to be carefully observe it. Okay, see, still it is in the body. Still it is in the body. Okay, it has come back. It has come back into the main program. That means delay profile or delay function is completed or completely executed. And in that function, we see that how many cycles to 2508 or 2508 cycles have already executed. And if you multiply 2508 with 0.4 microsecond, you will have a 1 millisecond delay, right? So this is how you can calculate a 1 millisecond delay, right? So if you use another crystal oscillator, you will have the equivalent amount separately, right? So this is how you can actually calculate. It is not exactly 1 millisecond, it is exactly 1.0032. So if you call it delay of 1000, that means it should not be exactly 1000 millisecond, rather it will be 1000 multiplied by this figure, right? So that will not be exactly 1 second, rather it is much greater than value or slightly higher than that value, right? So this is how one can actually calculate the exact amount of time which is consumed in any function of delay. So I've very carefully written this specific delay code with certain iteration. If you remember, I will just write it for you so that if you do remember what I've written here, because I know that these are very small and probably many people will have a zoom in value, zoom in problem. So I is less than time. If you remember, this was the code I plus plus. And in that loop, we have also used j equal to 0, j less than 165. Actually, I have not used here 165. I've used here in calculation 135 because it was more appropriate. Remember that if it will be run for 165 number of times. So this loop will produce more amount of time, which is not desired here, because I wanted to design a function for only for 1 millisecond, right? So now this is the code I've written, and this is for this code execution. You see that when I tested using stopwatch in MPLAB, this amount of time is basically around 1.003 milliseconds. So if you multiply, these are what amount of time, one microsecond, sorry, for total time of delay function, and the time instruction which were executed, these were basically 2508 instructions, right? Remember, in calculation, we know that time of one instruction is basically equal to how much, 0.4 microseconds. So if you multiply 0.4 with 2508, then eventually you will have a 1.003 millisecond delay, right? So that's how you can actually calculate the exact amount of delay in MPLAB of any C code, right? Or any portion of C code. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. If you have any confusion, please post your confusions in comment section. Thank you so much for listening.